For dinners, kind of same as you. I think we should all be focusing on red meat primarily. I get the meat that tastes the best to me. I contend that the clearance section of the meat section is still local. It's local to us in America. And if I can take meat that is just going to go bad and I can cook it that day and it tastes great, I'm going to do that. If I can get better quality, I'll do that as well. A lot of my meat I purchase, I do get from Costco. I think they're a really nice resource. Although this last year, I did get a membership to Sam's Club because it was so inexpensive. I have to say, their ground beef is absolutely delicious. They have these
Yes.
little sliders of ground prime rib that are
Ooh,
really,
ooh,
really, really good. I've been kind of hooked
yum.
on those lately.
Yeah.
So so those have been great. Traeger, you mentioned Traeger. They're here in the Salt Lake Valley as their headquarters. I
Oh,
have a Traeger.
okay.
Absolutely love my
Yeah.
Traeger. Can't say enough about that, whether you're doing a whole brisket or tri-tips or all kinds of different things. I don't do bacon very often like you, just I might eat it a few times a month. But if I do, I cook it outside of my Traeger because you talked about like the smells around the house.
Yeah.
I find that to like really help with that. And then I've got something new that I feel pretty confident in talking about. Again, it's new, and so I hope the longevity aspect of this thing continues for a long time. But as you probably well know, if you're on social media and you follow carnivores, you're eventually going to start to see a lot of videos of Dr. Sean Baker
Yeah.
sitting down with a giant wooden cutting
Yeah.
board and
It's
it looks
big
like a
knife.
samurai
Yeah.
knife and this huge hunk of beautiful meat. And he sits there and he slices it, and it shows him like watching a movie. I like the ones where he promotes the carnivore people more than I like the ones where he promotes or like kind of makes fun of
Making fun of
vegans.
other people. Yeah.
I don't love that part, but anyway, I've watched so many of these videos that like I want to make a steak like that. However he does it, I want to learn exactly how he does it. And so he's made a video showing exactly how he makes his steak. And so he uses a sous vide. So I have one of those already. So that basically it's a water circulator. You fill up a container, could be anything this thing can clamp onto a pot or a pan or anything that you have. I've got a dedicated kind of water tank for that. I turn my sous vide on to about 120 degrees. You can vacuum seal or manually seal a food in like a Ziploc bag or something, and I will cook a steak, preferably a ribeye, for about 2 hours. No salting or anything like that, just enough to get it kind of cooked medium all the way through.
Mhm.
Um, at that point, I take it out of the bag. I try to dry it off as best I can. Classically, when I cook my steaks, I would use cast iron. So cast iron with a lot of butter in it, whatever. The way that Sean Baker does it, he uses an auto grill. And so this is an infrared grill. It's a box that's open on one end that has a shelf that you can adjust the height, and the top gets very, very hot, up to 1,500 degrees. And it again, it sears everything really, really quickly and really, really hot. And so he'll put it in maybe like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and so it starts to develop a crust. Again, you slide this shelf up and down, so you slide it as close as you want to the flame. It does shoot flame, it's gas, and so it does have to be outside. So mine is next to my Traeger. And then once it's done, you pull it out, you flip it, do the other side, and then you can pull the whole thing off and get rid of it. So he uses an auto grill. I believe his model is the Auto Wild. It's $1,000. There's
Yeah.
another brand out there. I can't remember right now. I should know it. There's another brand that a lot of people recommend. Sean Baker has one as well. That one's $2,000.
Oh,
So I like to spend money on the way that I prepare my food. I don't mind investing in that kind of thing. I
mhm.
also, when I'm first trying something, I don't like to just dump a bunch of money into something that I don't know whether I'm going to enjoy or not. So I've been playing around on Amazon. I found a brand called Bighorn that makes the same thing, maybe not quite as nice. I'm not sure. It does get up to 1,500 degrees, and it was
Mhm.
$150 on Amazon.
Oh, big
I
difference.
decided to check it out. Big difference. Again, I don't know. Maybe it doesn't last as long, whatever. I have been cooking steak on that pretty consistently for 2 weeks. And I have to say, it is incredible. It puts the perfect crust on your steak.
Oh,
It
wonderful.
doesn't overheat the inside. So it comes out that
Hmm.
medium rare. Like you said, I'm really enjoying it. I've cooked sausage with it. I've heard fish is really nice in there as it gets like kind of crispy, but also like stays tender on the inside. Mine has like this tool that you use to kind of move the shelves around. There's two different
Right.
shelves, and so if I'm cooking maybe my sliders on the top shelf or I'm reheating something a little bit lower on the bottom, that's been
Mhm.
really convenient. Pretty easy to clean up. I'm really enjoying it. And for $150, I don't mind if maybe it doesn't
Yeah.
last as long and I can give it to somebody else or get rid of it and get something better. But that's been really fun to use over the last few weeks.
I've been wanting to get one of those, so I'm going to look into the cheaper one.
Check it out. I will put a link to all of the stuff that we're talking about today,
Okay.
but I have to say, so far, I've been really, really happy with that.
Wow.
So
What we're doing now is I have a torch. And when I take my meat off of the Traeger grill, as you know, it doesn't get the sear because it's not directly on the
nice.
heat. And I just press the button, the torch lights up, and I torch my meat, flip it over, torch it. It's and you can see it's I sear it right in front of my face, and it's amazing. It's a more of a manual way to do that, but I'm always looking for better ways to cook my meat. So,
It's like you said, different ways, right? Just
yeah,
different things
different
to
ways,
be able
better
to try.
ways.